Hello, 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 and welcome into the show, everybody. It is I, NatesLegend, and I am alone today. So we're doing another single episode where it's just me, and on top of that, so on top of having to deal with just me, I also have some camera issues today. So we're kind of working off a weird setup. I want to apologize for that. I will definitely get it fixed. I apologize that you have to deal with my ugly mug for the next little bit, bad teeth and all. So. Welcome in. Hello, everybody. It's been a few weeks. It's been a little while since we've actually had an episode. A few reasons for that. So there's a few things going on in really all of our lives individually. Biggest is really my side, unfortunately. So anybody that knows me personally, knows me outside of the show, should also know that I have a huge obsession with rugby. Recently here the last few weeks, I've had the opportunity to dive into the rugby world a little bit more. I ended up picking up, it's not necessarily a second job, but it is another gig working within the rugby industry, and it's kind of put a bit of a wrench in the rest of my plans and the rest of my time. So it is going to kind of mess with things for the next little bit. Bear with me. We will work through it, along with everything else going on with everybody else's schedules. We'll get a better time solidified for all of us. So I want to apologize for that, while also at the same time letting you know just kind of what to expect moving forward. Nothing's going on with the show. It's just one of those things with timing and scheduling and everything. So that said, we're gonna jump right into things today. Now our normal question, of course, is what games did you play this week? It's been a couple of weeks. It's only me here. If anybody wants to hop on and share a comment, please, by all means. I'd love to hear from you guys. It'd be awesome. Anywho, all right. So what games did I play? I actually played a lot. So obviously Tiny Tina's, as that's our main topic of discussion this week. I played a little bit of Grand Theft Auto Online. I decided that I wanted to give that a go. Created a motorcycle gang. I own a weed farm. It's fun. I'm enjoying it. I'd love to get some people on. I'm hoping. I keep trying to convince Doodles that he wants to join. It'll happen. It will. I'm gonna make it happen. He's gonna get on and join my gang. Beyond that, Doodles we did have a little bit of a chance to play this week together. We played some Fall Guys as well, but the big one is Fortnite. We decided, okay, if they're going to remove the building, that was like my biggest obstacle. It really was my biggest obstacle. So if they're going to go ahead and remove the building from it, I'm going to give it a go. Gave it a go. Ended up winning a couple of games. I don't know if one of them was like that like the first game. Oh, you have to win this, whatever, right? But at the very least, outside of that, we also we got a win as a duo, and then we also got a win. Did I get one or two? Oh, I don't remember. Got a couple of wins as individuals on solos as well. I enjoyed it. It is so much more fun now that that's gone. Outside of like that really was the biggest thing for me. I'll hop on and play. Like it's great now. I don't mind. It's fun. It's fun. That said, those were kind of the big games that I played this week. Trying to think if there was any others that I left behind or didn't think of, but I do think those were the big ones. I know I've also picked up. We got our new PlayStation Plus games. Just picked up the SpongeBob one. We'll be trying that out with the wife as well sometime in the coming weeks. Lego Star Wars, and then we'll also be trying out. Excuse me. We're gonna try out Lego Star Wars and the new SpongeBob. This free SpongeBob game that came out. That's where we were going with. This was the free SpongeBob game. So gonna try that one and Star Wars out with the Sponsor coming out soon. So couple things to kind of look forward to as we start looking at multiplayer games here soon. It's gonna be a lot of fun coming up. So anywho, continuing on, those were my big games. We'll just keep things rolling. Again, it's going to be a pretty quick episode, guys. It really will be. Break into some major updates from the few weeks. Now, I cherry picked a few of these. We've kind of discussed a couple of them before, but I really want to break it down, how it's going to work, whatever else. All right. So, oh man, I didn't get the. Oh, it's cool. All right. So, our first piece of news: Sony has announced the all-new PlayStation Plus tier system. first thing I want to point out before we get anywhere into this, no exclusives, no day one exclusives. That surprises me, but I guess I get it. But definitely surprises me a little bit. As we go through this, I don't know if it justifies its price, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So it is a multi-tiered system. You're gonna have your PlayStation Plus is Essential, which is $9.99 a month or $60 a year. It's basically how PlayStation Plus is right now. You're then going to bust into the PlayStation Plus Extra, which is $14.99 a month or $100 for the year. You're getting 400 PS4 and PS5 games on top of your standard kind of PlayStation Plus abilities. It did say as well that you'll have it on the consoles and on PC. So it sounds like they're doing they're going to be doing a lot more with either the remote play or with bringing more games to PC. And then from there, we got PlayStation Plus Premium, which is going to be $17.99 per month or $120 per year. Just a little bit of comparison. Game Pass Ultimate is $14.99 per month. So it's definitely a little bit more. And without getting those day one exclusives, it makes it hard to justify. I believe the number on that was somewhere around like 750 games for PlayStation Premium. I don't know. It still feels like a lot of extra money, in my opinion. It's going to add up real quickly, but it is kind of exciting to see. I'm waiting to see what ends up happening with it as they release more details or as it goes live. Really excited to see. I'm going to try for probably the premium first, but I guess we'll see. I'll be honest. I've actually been using my PS5 way more than any other console. I've actually pretty much forgotten that everything else exists at this point. So any game I'm buying is directly for my PS5. There hasn't really been any games or anything that's really inclined me to purchase the Xbox. So it was Halo. I beat the game there and really don't have a reason to go to the multiplayer for it. So kind of having a hard time trying to decide if that's the direction I want to go if I ever want to get that. Price-wise, however, fairly comparable. I think, we'll definitely give it a go. I'll let you guys know how it all goes. Continuing on, we do have as well Activision and Blizzard settled their sexual harassment lawsuit in an $18 million settlement. So, I don't think this is going to be enough for me just yet to want to play their games. I haven't boycotted necessarily their games, but like I've really steered clear heavily from them, if I'm like completely honest. So I don't think this is enough to kind of push me back to their games just yet. I do want to see how they're going to act moving forward. If they're going to brush it aside now and pretend nothing happened, or if they're actually going to make reasonable change. So that's going to be the biggest thing, but it is good to see that it was at least settled. Shouldn't limit things moving forward. So continuing on, E3 has been canceled. This is completely canceled. No physical, no digital show, nothing at all. This does mark the third year in a row that this didn't happen. 2020, of course, being because of the pandemic. 2021 was supposed to be a digital only. However, it got canceled as well. And then this year, they didn't really necessarily give a reason. The most that they really said was they stated that that the show will return in 2023 with a reinvigorated showcase. So take that for what it is. For what you want anyway. I can't say that I'm super excited. I mean, cool, you promised me an extra year, but what does that mean? So, I don't know. It's canceled. How can it I guess my question is just how can it continue moving forward? How can you say, oh, we're going to be back in 2023 when like you've already been down for a couple of years? So what's got to give? What's the reason that you're not going on this year? What's the real reason behind it? So I'm interested in seeing if anything else comes from this, but expect it back in 2023. In other big news, Unreal Engine 5 has officially released. It did release. We got more images from The Matrix Awakens, and it is bloody gorgeous. Oh my goodness. I am so excited to see these games. It looks like real life, like almost better than real life. You can definitely get the uncanny valley from it, but at the same time, it's good. I'm excited to see what actually comes from this. That said, we do have some new game announcements. The biggest being, I say biggest, the one that segues the best anyway, is going to be the new Tomb Raider game. That one is going to be running on Unreal Engine 5. In other new games, we also have Max Payne and Max Payne 2 remakes coming with Rockstar Games. We just received, today, there was an announcement of the 20th anniversary of Kingdom Hearts 4 and Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. It's going to be full remake, it looks like. I'm going to be honest, I didn't actually get too much of a chance to see it. However, I know a lot of people are going to be excited. We'll have to potentially get Gajewski back on here to give us some hot takes on that. Nonetheless, we also have a new Subnautica game that is in development. They basically announced it on Twitter saying, "Hey, we're looking for a new to fill this position on the new Subnautica game." So kind of how they announced it was really interesting, and I thought it was kind of fun. So all sorts of new games, all sorts of new announcements, and just like that, easy peasy, we are through the news. Like I said, it's going to be a real quick episode today, guys. Let's do it. Let's see. One moment here. I have a special little comment. If y'all want to give me like 30 seconds here. I apologize. We have some surprises potentially in store. Oh, it's going to be real quiet for a second here, guys. I'll try to fill the void as much as possible as we do this. Meanwhile, okay, so yeah. Anyway, I'm so sorry as I deal with the quietness for a moment. Potentially big surprises, like I said. I'm gonna kind of leave it at that. We'll see where things go. It's here. It's here. That was so quick. I love it. Let's see if we can get him added on here.
Yo.
Hey, how are you, my man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I literally just got off of work. I noticed that the stream was on. I'm like, perfect. I can make it.
Yes.
So I'm here for today's show. I was like, damn it, I have to work. But then I'm like, I'm getting off early today. Maybe I can get in time, to get into the show, like we do before the show. But I'm here. Mm-hmm. I'm here.
I love it. All right. So
I just heard the news that you presented about Unreal Engine 5, which I'm kind of excited about.
Right.
I am super thrilled. I am super thrilled for that. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, yo, and I'm about to get a new PC too. So I'm like, yes. I'm kind of happy about it.
We talked about it a few months back. We talked about it that you were wanting to get one. Are you still thinking pre-built, or are you going to try to build your own?
I'm actually buying one off of one of my really good friends. Shout out to my friend Anthony. He always has a built computer, and he's getting rid of one that actually has a really nice graphics card on it, and he's building it. I just got to put Windows on it and it's good to go. So yeah, it's already pre-built. It's got I think a RTX 2060 in it, which is all I would really. It's all I would really need anyway. What was 2060?
My graphics card, so
right, like 2060 was what 2020. So I mean,
yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad not for what I would need it for anyway. So, but other than that, man, like I'm super stoked. I'm super stoked. So
it's gonna be big, especially hearing like games that are already saying like, yeah, that's the platform we're gonna release this game on. Like the new Tomb Raider, like I said, is gonna be on Unreal Engine 5. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun.
I'm super stoked for it too.
It's one of those. I haven't really played the Tomb Raider series, right? But I just want to see what this could be, right? Can you imagine Elden Rings or something of that magnitude on Unreal Engine 5? Like
the graphics would be completely insane. I mean, the whole Matrix preview that we got a while back, that was cool. I did play that. I did go around the city. I did mess with the the timing and everything like that.
Mhm.
That was cool, but
Really?
we need an actual like working game to like we need the perfect
Mhm.
launch for that.
Mhm.
I don't know if Rockstar and Grand Theft Auto would work for that. Like considering the way Grand
Mhm.
Theft Auto kind of is, but
That's fair.
I like you said, Elden Ring on that.
Elden Ring would be insane
I
on
mean,
that. Just any open
boy.
world game is gonna be awesome on that. I think
Oh,
that the world that you
definitely.
can really create is gonna be crazy. Not sure if you heard the rest of the news here. Where did
Nope.
that go?
I was logging in as soon
Just
as you
log it
sent that
in.
link.
Okay, fantastic. I mentioned okay, so speaking of Grand Theft Auto 5, I've jumped online. I've
Really?
created yep, we're online now. I have a motorcycle gang. I'm the leader of the motorcycle gang.
Of course.
I have a weed farm and I'm recruiting. I'm recruiting for my motorcycle gang. And so you're gonna have to hop on and join us on Grand Theft Auto.
I would have to make space for it because
Do it.
I actually just excuse me. I actually just re-downloaded a game that I haven't played in a while.
Oh yeah, what game?
And I've been playing it with a friend. It's called Rogue Company.
Okay.
It's a third person shooter, not a
Mhm,
first person, and it's
mhm.
not bad. It's something to hang out and shoot your friends with and stuff like that. I'm actually playing as
Yeah.
Doctor Disrespect, so it's not bad. It's actually
Oh, okay.
yeah. Yeah, this was a Doctor Disrespect sponsored game, and they threw him in the game, and I thought it was pretty cool. I get to play as the Doctor, so
Mhm.
his quips are kind of cool too. So
Cool.
it's not bad. It's not bad. And plus, this
Mhm.
week coming up, I'm getting two video games this week.
Oh, what you getting? What you getting?
Uh, I'm getting Dying Light 2
Okay.
to play with a couple of friends of mine who want to play, and also so I can play with my wife because she likes
Mhm.
kind of zombie like type games like that. And this one's for Scott, man. I'm getting Elden Ring, man.
You gonna get Elden Ring? Oh man.
I am getting it, and if you don't have it, I will make sure that you have it, and
Ah,
that will be my gift to
I'm
you.
I'm struggling to want it just yet. Um.
I was gonna wait a little bit longer for it to get a little bit cheaper,
Mhm.
but I've also heard that there are some things wrong with the game and some things that aren't. But the people that I play with before we play
Mhm.
Call of Duty and
Mhm.
stuff like that, they're playing Elden Ring, and it's just something to
Okay.
pass the time. And I'm like, well, if it's a game to pass the time, why not? I should be playing,
Okay.
Ghost of Tsushima, which I really need to get back into because
Right.
it was
I'm so far
so
behind on that
good.
games too.
But oh, and I also talked to my best friend who just finished Valhalla. It
Yeah.
it took him. He said it was so long. I was like, not as long as Nate's Legend.
I had to reset. I got like so I believe I was officially I have to be well over 300 hours now in that game because I played Dawn of
Yeah.
Ragnarok. I got
How
that
was that? How
all
was that
done.
expansion? That expansion was good. Don't tell me you're disappointed. That would hurt my soul a little bit.
Trying to think the best way to describe
No.
it's okay. They have one thing that I will give Ubisoft credit for is every expansion to this game has been a different concept, right? So it started out
Okay.
as river raids. The whole thing is you go raid the river,
Hmm.
and there's different stops along the way. And it was like, okay, cool. That's fun. That gives you something extra. The gear was crap from it, but whatever. Um, in Ireland, you have to like set up trading posts and it's a whole like market thing. Like you have to set up markets and like trading and all sorts of fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
Um, in this one, it gives you a more broad like it almost follows the Elden Ring formula where it's like, okay, here's your NPC that you just saved, whatever else, and they give you this clue that doesn't really appear on your map. right? Like it's less guided in like than the traditional sense. They also just say, hey, just go find you got to just go find the outposts, right? So you're just wandering. So I don't want to say that it's a bad expansion, because I had a ton of fun playing it.
Right.
The story was really good. I thought it was. I mean, I kind of figured it out early, but that's because if you look for contextual clues, anything can be solved early.
Right.
But the ending, like it fit the narrative. It fit what they were trying to do with the world. So I do enjoy it. I liked it, but it's not one that I'm like, oh my goodness, I would buy it just for this aspect, right?
Right.
So kind of a weird. I don't know if that's a good
No, no,
answer
no.
for it, but
It's actually a pretty good observation, because you're looking at it from different concepts and different areas that they decided they wanted to do with their expansions, which I'm okay with. So it to me, that's a pretty good response.
You really have to look at like what they're trying to do. Like at the core, they're just trying different systems, you know. So you can't fault them for that. I definitely want more. I want more from, not more content, more from the content that they're giving, right? If that makes sense. I want more meat and potatoes to it.
No, it
But
totally makes sense.
I guess it is what it is. If I'm honest, I haven't played in a minute though, because I have been playing Tiny Tina's, and
How
I'm
is
kind of
that?
obsessed just a little bit.
Just a
It's
little bit.
okay. I'm gonna give you a teaser. This is quickly shot up to within my top 5 first person shooter games.
Really? Tiny Tina, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's your teaser for a second. But that said, because you jumped in a little bit late here, I didn't get the chance to ask you, other than the one that we've talked about, Rogue Company. What else have you played this week, Jay?
Let's
I'm
see
gonna grab my
here.
water while I'm at it.
Of course, I play Call of Duty. I play Destiny. I haven't really, to be honest with you, it's been such a busy, like 2 weeks since we last. I've been jam packed, getting home super late, and then like staying asleep till it's time for us to start the show. And then I realized that there's no show today, and I was just like,
No.
God.
Well,
Like,
you didn't get to hear? You didn't necessarily get to hear why we haven't had shows. Did you were still at work at that point? I apologize. Let me fill you in on what's going on. So, actually, I didn't really technically tell everybody what was going on. So, I ended up one of my favorite things in the world is rugby. It's a small obsession of mine. I mean, I love playing it. I haven't been out in a few years, but the Utah Reffing Association, Rugby Reffing Association, held a class, and I'm now certified to be a rugby referee for the junior levels. So
congratulations, Nick.
thank you. I appreciate it. It was kind of a spur of the moment decision. One of those like, hey, we have this class coming up on Saturday, and I'm like, that sounds cool. Like, I want to be a part of. I've always been a part of the world, but like, no one takes me seriously as a player. So I'm really excited.
Might as well rep it.
So, but it is gonna kind of. I mean, games are on Saturdays, so it kind of messes with this a little bit, but I'll try not to let it get too far in the way. We may just have to move the shows to Sundays moving forward. Later in the day on Sunday. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Like I said, but yeah, that's kind of what's been going on with the show and why it's been so wacky lately. Is I've been getting certified. So
nice.
Yeah. Okay, let's break into it. Let's get into our main topic. Like I said, we won't make it a super long show today. Hopefully, we'll just break right into it because you're curious and I want to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Tiny Tina's WonderLands. Woo! Buddy. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't throw up our actual background. That works. All right. Dude, Tiny Tina's Wonderland. It's so good. Okay. I did not look. I knew what Borderlands is. Like what it's.
Yeah.
Like,
I know what Borderlands is. I know.
So you go into the game and you know what to expect. Like they're not going to surprise you with it, right? Right?
You would think.
You would think, oh no, this game is full of just awesome surprises and twists, and it is the D&D campaign that you are hoping that it is. Very specifically, okay, so Tiny Tina's Wonderland was created kind of as, kind of a response to the positive feedback of Borderland 2's Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep. In fact, WonderLands takes place pretty much immediately following Assault on Dragon's Keep. So, did we lose you there, Jay? Did you want to be gone? Did we lose you? I think we have some mic issues then. Oh no, is that me? I can't hear you. Sorry, y'all. More technical difficulties. If this camera isn't enough to tell you that this episode was full of technical difficulties, I don't know what is. We'll continue to let Jay do his thing there for just a moment, because I want to know if he has played Assault on Dragon Keep. But we'll get there in just a second. Nothing yet there, Jay. All right, so when I say that it was sort of in response, like a fan response, they actually had this game planned. Oh, there it is. I heard him.
I'm back.
There it is. Jay's back with us. All right, fantastic. So, as I was saying, so although it was like kind of in response to like the fan response, because everybody loved Assault on Dragon's Keep. Like that was all the talk. That was such a great DLC. According to everyone, we'll get there. Nonetheless, I didn't play Assault on Dragon's Keep because I didn't really play Borderlands until 3 came out, and then by the time I played, I went through and I did 1, 2. I did all of them because we did them for the show, but I really started on 3, and so it was hard to try to go back to 2 when that you've got the mechanics of 3 that are a little more polished, and so this one, however, is the ultimate follow-up to Borderlands 3 when it comes to like feel and mechanic. We'll get there in a second, but the game was developed by Gearbox and 2K Studios.
Gearbox did it, huh?
Gearbox did do it. Yep.
Good.
Sticking with tradition there. So it was It is definitely the most gorgeous of the games as well. Like it looks like it is definitely the best next gen, but whatever. Okay, so the whole game is plotted around the Borderlands in a game known as Bunkers and Badasses, or in other words, Dungeons and Dragons. If you've played Assault on Dragon's Keep, you know what to expect. It is so Tiny Tina is your bunker master, your dungeon master, and it is a wacky adventure. I'm gonna get into the story in a moment. I want to start talking about the characters and the classes first before we break down any story, because there are a lot of them. There's there's currently 6 classes that you can play as. Each one. Okay, so here's the thing. It's hard to know where to start with this game because at its core, it is Dungeons and Dragons, right? It starts out, you are in Borderlands world. I don't even remember which planet you're on, right? You are introduced to the players, the people actually playing Bunkers and Badasses. Now, from there, you are then brought into this other world, and all of it is just kind of centered. God, again, it's so hard to know exactly where I want to start. Do I want to go story first, or do I want to go classes? I want to go classes first. So
I was about to say go classes and then into the story.
Let's go classes first. Yeah. So there are 6 different classes that each give you a different ability. Now, each class there's 2 different. When you first start, you end up with 2 different abilities. I can only speak to the one that I chose, and I chose the class of Clawbringer, which we'll get to in just a moment, kind of what their ability is. So you start out with 2 different options. You can choose between the 2, and that's your ability. But then from there, you also have spell books. Now, at least for my class, I can use spell books. These are specialized spells. So you know just that one spell. They're interchangeable, and they are on the same RNG counter that everyone else is. Okay, so I'm setting those two apart. And then from there, you have your skills, which is going to be your Dungeons and Dragons, just your standard D&D character sheet. That's really all that it is. The way that you give yourself points, exact same as D&D. It looks like a D&D character sheet, and those are your skills. So I have to break that into 3 different sections. You have your spells, which are found. You have your ability, which are based off your class, and then you have your skills, which is your D&D, your actual skilling. So 6 different classes altogether. The first is going to be your Berserker. It is they're going to be a melee, kind of your tankish, close combat, want to punch things, whatever else. You have your Graveborn, which is going to be more of your Necromancer character. Spell Shot, which is your Wizard, which I'm actually going to get to in just a few moments. And
is that the one that you're using currently?
It's not, but we'll get to what I mean by that in just a second. I have a bit of a teaser for you there. And then you have your Spore Warden, which is going to be control of like plants and whatnot. And then your Stabomancer, which is your Blade Assassin. Now, as mentioned, I chose the Clawbringer class. That's the first one. He has everything is interchangeable. It's, they even let you choose your pronouns, they, them, if you wish. It's very detailed. It's awesome like that. You get to choose what they look like completely. And so it makes things really nice. It just kind of makes it out of your own imagination. So I say he because that's what I'm playing as a he. So he has a Wyvern companion. Flies around, helps me attack things. I love her. She's awesome. Every time she goes to anytime she takes out an enemy, the character always makes like a fun comment, like, "Oh, I taught her to do that." Like, super fun. Totally loves this little Wyvern companion that flies around with you. It's great.
Did you give her a nickname?
I haven't. Mostly because you don't really you don't interact with her. That's the one thing I don't enjoy. Is she's very passive. It's not like I can tell her to go attack. If I could tell her who to attack, and maybe I'm missing something, but that's so no. It's hard to want to. They don't even mention as well.
Really? You would think.
Yeah, even Assassin's Creed, you have Sunin. That's the name of your eagle / raven, but I'd have to look into that further. I'm gonna be honest. I may have just skimmed. I wanted to play. I love playing. I don't like reading and setting up characters. Just give me the game. I hate randomize. I didn't actually. So fun fact. I set my character up to look like the exact same character that I played in my previous my real life D&D campaign. I kind of put him into picture really. Anywho, okay. So as mentioned, my specific character has the magic, the spell ability. You're given the natural ability of the Clawbringer, you have a hammer. You're basically Thor, because you can throw your hammer. One of your abilities is you can throw the hammer. It sends out an electric wave from there and kind of shocks everybody. Very Thor, right? And then you can recall it as well if you want. Or you can equip the hammer, basically hammer down Reinhardt, basic hammer smash. Shebang. Right? Yeah. So those were kind of the two that you are given. You can expand on those, whatever else. But once you reach a certain level, you gain the ability to add a second character ability. So I chose, and that's why I mentioned earlier, we'll bring it back to the spell shot. So I also have the abilities of the spell shot, because that is the secondary character that I can equip in. And they have a few more options beyond that, right? So the first one that you're given with the spell shot is you get to turn the enemy into a sheep, and they just kind of float in a circle as a sheep. It disables them essentially, makes it so they don't attack you. They're just done, right?
Right.
Super fun. I enjoyed it. It wasn't really my play style. until I unlocked the second spell shot ability, which is the ability to attach a second spell instead of doing. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna throw it up here as well. Dual spell. You get to attach 2 spells instead of having an ability. It is the most fun I've ever had. You're shooting spells left and right, and then you fire your gun, and then spell. It's great. Highly recommended to attach the if you can in any way, shape, or form, put this spell shot on there. That is just such an amazing ability. And like I said, I mean, you know, Doug says it best there. It is absolutely where it's at. Highly recommend it. Great timing on that, Doug. I truly appreciate it. For anybody listening, Doug is saying Tiny Tina Wonderlands is amazing. Dual spells is where it's at. That's the entire comment there for you. All right, but yeah, no, it's great. I do want to go back. My end goal is I do want to actually go back and play with some of the other classes. So I'm down to get an actual party going so I can play as someone else. I love what I'm playing. I'm going to finish the story with my current character. I'm level like 20 right now, I think. I would guess that I'm somewhere between a quarter and a halfway done with the campaign.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad then. You're not
maybe
you're making
more.
decent progress at least.
Yeah. I'm not doing too many side quests. I am a few levels higher than where I need to be. So like, I think I'm at like 24, 25, something like that. And like to get into the area that I need to be, it's only like level 20. So I'm definitely starting to kind of separate myself from what's actually needed, which is nice.
Right.
But I guess I don't truly know how far or how far into the story I really am. That said, so we've kind of talked about the spells and the abilities and that sort of fun stuff, at least as much as I can. I don't want to speak too much to the other ones. The one I want to try is the Graveborn. That's the one. Whatever party I start next, that's the one I'm going to try. It's basically a necromancer. You bring people back to fight with you. Super stoked to try that one. So if anybody wants to play, yeah.
Hit up NatesLegend in the comments.
Anyway. All right. Let's talk about kind of the spells, we're going to elaborate on the spells along with talking about the weapons themselves. Okay. So you have same range of weapons as as you kind of already have had. You got your pistols, SMGs, rifles, snipers, bazookas, kind of your standard stuff in that regard. The pistols are not pistols though. They are crossbows.
Oh, okay. That's kind of cool.
Right? I thought that was just kind of a fun little touch, something that like is realistic to it, right?
Right.
So beyond that though, you have abilities that kind of come, I say abilities a lot, but the guns have their own abilities. So you're gonna have a health version. So it's called dark magic, and essentially when you do damage to the enemy, it heals you. Whatever damage you're taking or you're making to the enemy, it's getting brought back to you. Kind of like the siphoning in from the necromancer in Diablo 3, if you think about it, except it's not a full cipher. It's it's shots. There's also poison, lightning, freezing, and fire.
So you have pretty much the 5 or 6 elements.
Yep, exactly. My favorite is the health. And now keep in mind that this goes for both weapons and the spells. So you have spells that will deal lightning damage or whatever else. If you're gonna play the game, best recommendation. One of those spells needs to be a healing spell.
Okay.
I had one and I accidentally gave it up, and I'm so sorry for it.
You sound so distraught.
Oh my god, this was the single best spell that I've ever equipped in a video game, and it's gone, and I'm so mad. Basically, you shoot out from the ground. You shoot out thing that like it goes straight and then it divides out and chases people.
Oh, okay. So it has a
it,
tracking module to it.
exactly. Like it's basically this tracking thing. Anybody on the ground, it will go and it will just siphon all of their health while simultaneously doing damage to them. And it was ridiculously powerful. I actually unequipped it because it was starting to become less powerful, but it was still beneficial. But it wasn't doing as much damage, so I unequipped it and then got rid of it, and then nothing I've equipped since has done what it has done, and I immediately felt regret, but I couldn't buy it back because by the time I realized it, I'd quit for the day, so all of my... Anyway, it was gone. It was gone. But that was the best spell I've ever equipped, and I have one now that's similar that just goes in a straight line. It doesn't branch off and chase after, which is fine. It does the same. It does more damage, so it's all good. But yeah, all of these, it goes for the guns, it goes for the spells. It's on the same tier system, the same RNG type thing as any of the other Borderlands. So it works really, really well. It makes the controls of the game one of the single most fluid of the series. The entire series, like the entire game, it's so simplistic when you compare it to everyone else, but it's also doing more. For what I mean by that, when you have Call of Duty, left trigger gonna be your scope, right trigger is gonna be your aim, left trigger is gonna be a grenade of some sort, a flashbang, right bumper is gonna be grenade of some sort, right? And then you have and then you'll usually have like a button for melee, right?
Right.
So you get to equip a full melee weapon, a sword of some sort, whatever else. They have full melee weapons that work just like the melee do. So you're not using your gun to hit, you're using your melee weapon. And then the spells and abilities just replace your bumpers.
Oh.
That's it. So you're casting spells and there's so much going on and things are popping off on the screen and you're really only you're not pressing any more buttons than you were with any of the other Borderlands games. But everything flows more smoothly. The way that everything comes out is more smooth. It's the only real, I want to say knock that I have, and it's not a knock by any stretch. The aim assist is a little light on it, right? It doesn't necessarily, if you're close, it doesn't necessarily pull you where you want to go. So I end up shooting and I miss a lot of my shots because it starts out up here and I have to pull myself down to kind of compensate, where before it would normally, I don't know, it's a little bit light in that regard. I have confirmed it is turned on, but it is a little bit light. While the sensitivity is a little bit high. I kind of messed with that a little bit, kind of fucked with it up and down. I found that 4 kind of works the best for me. 3 is a little too slow. 5 is a little too fast. 4 is still a little too fast, but it's better than 3. So that's kind of where I hang out. Just if you guys are wondering where the pros play.
Right.
I'm not a pro. Okay. So yeah, that's really my only knock to the controls themselves. And that's a subtle knock. Anyway, it's good. I'm just gonna keep rambling. Sorry, I kind of prepped this entire script based off me being by myself, so it's mostly me rambling. If you have anything you want to add at any point in time, please do.
I'm here to not just to enjoy the show, but also because I'm part of the show. I can't let you do it by yourself. I mean, you asked me, and like I said, I had to make sure I was here for Nate's Legend.
I'm glad you're here at the end. At the end, I have some questions for you. Don't let me go without asking you questions.
Okay.
Because I'll forget. Anywho, because I want your answer. I want to one, it's kind of halfway an announcement, kind of halfway a question for you, kind of halfway putting you on the spot. So it's like Man Bear.
Perfect, because I actually have a couple of announcements, so it's good.
Yes. All right. I love it. Okay, continuing on. Let's talk about the story for a few minutes here.
Yes, I was about to ask about the story. I would like to. That's my biggest thing. I'm ready to hear about this campaign.
Okay. So here's the biggest thing, the one thing I'm gonna say. It is so very hard to talk about this story without giving any spoilers. It takes some turns to left field pretty immediately. Okay.
Oh.
Now, that said, it doesn't necessarily spoil the game. It is actually set up for the game. But it's not that you end up doing a campaign that you don't anticipate that you're doing.
Right.
Do you how deep into the story do you want me to get? Do you want me to tell you what I'm referring to? It's not a true spoiler is the thing. It's
How about this? Use your discretion.
okay. Let's do this. We're gonna keep it light for the time being because
Is
I
that
want
a
people to
Netflix beanie
experience
that you're wearing, by the way?
It is, yes.
That's dope. I want
fun
one.
fact. So I used to work there. And everybody asks me like, okay, Nate, why do you keep wearing Netflix gear? Like I have Netflix shirts and hoodies and
It
all
was
sorts of stuff.
free. And on top of
was
that,
free.
yeah, like I'm wearing my work sweater still. I literally just walked in and logged in. But it's free. So even when I'm done working for this damn place, I'm still gonna wear the shit because I got it for free. What am I supposed to do? Just let it sit there?
This is my comfiest. This is my favorite hat. Most comfy favorite hat in the entire world. Do you really think I'm gonna stop wearing it
just because I don't work there anymore? You're tripping.
No, like
I'm wearing that sucker.
All my others are just too tight. This one just fits my head so perfectly. It's great.
Right.
It's like it was built for me. Anyway,
story discretion.
Story discretion. Okay, so first thing I want you guys to be aware of: Tiny Tina is an absolutely fantastic DM. Okay, the fantasy world that she actually sets up is great, and they do a phenomenal job of balancing the story to where you have your campaign, but you're not the one playing the campaign. You're playing the player that's playing the campaign. Right?
That's
the
trippy.
whole dynamic. That's
kind of cool.
And they take away, like, obviously you're bypassing the middleman in that scenario, and you're legitimately just playing the person in the game or the character in the game. But ultimately, like, you are the player that's playing. So they do a really good job of balancing the story of, okay, this is what the players are thinking and why the players are thinking it. This is the action that the character performs, and you have to go do that. Right? And it does just such a phenomenal job of balancing that, where you don't end up too, like, I know I keep bouncing back to Assassin's Creed Valhalla, but in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, in theory, you are someone that is in the Animus that is playing another character. Same concept. Right?
So it's like you're in the Matrix.
It's basically like you're in the Matrix. In Assassin's Creed, how often do you actually come out of the Animus? It's like twice?
It's like, I think twice.
Twice, 3
and
times.
And that's throughout all of the games, like twice, sometimes 3 times. That's throughout all the Assassin's Creed.
Exactly. So you're only coming out, like, there's no balance. And when you do come out of the Animus, you're also very confused as to what's going on, unless you happen to know what's going on.
Right.
Like, yeah. So whereas this one, like, you feel like you are playing that character. Now, that said, some of the things that kind of caught me by surprise, because I did very little to no research on the game prior to buying it, because it just looked like fun. That was my whole criteria for choosing this one over everything else. Cool. That one looks more fun. It paid off. Well, so good. Anywho, so Andy Sandberg and Wanda Sykes play two of the players that are playing Bunkers and Badasses.
I'm just excited to hear about Wanda Sykes in a video game. That's cool.
Right? And then you have Will Arnett that's playing a character in the in the game.
Wait, Will Arnett, the wrestling actor or whatever it is, the wrestler. He's a big fan of wrestling, right? Will Arnett. He was in that. Yeah, I think so. Wasn't he in Ready to Rumble?
I have absolutely no idea. He was the voice of Batman in Lego Batman.
Yes, that does Horseman. Help. Yes, I was just trying to pick. I was trying to
place him. Yeah. So Will Arnett is the voice. So you know what? I'm gonna break it down just a little bit. You end up you go into the world, and you are the Dragon King has been freed, and you need to go stop him because he is going to be wreaking havoc and trying to destroy the world, whatever else. So you gotta go stop him now that he's been freed. And then midway through, as you go, I'm gonna pull. This is the minor spoiler. It is a minor spoiler. Sorry, Jay. It's really not that big of a spoiler, but I'm gonna play a perfectly fine. Spoiler warning up here. So the Dragon King decides that he no longer wants to play Tina's way, and he breaks the fourth wall essentially and has taken over the D&D campaign, and he's now running the NPC is now running your D&D campaign. So you're not necessarily, and it's not that he's running it, but he has influence over it, right? He can change things and modify things. And
all I heard was Skynet.
It's essentially So I'll take that down now. So it just adds this whole extra element to it where it's not just like, it's not the camp. You're not just going in and playing the campaign as you expected. Like you're going in, Tina set up this world, you're looking at this world, and suddenly it's changed because the Dragon King has just been like, but everything was dark and mysterious, and like all of a sudden the sky just goes dark. And like he has control and like influence over the story, and it just adds this whole extra element that like nothing is quite not what it appears, but nothing is what is expected.
Nothing is what it seems.
Okay, so the reason I bring up those three are freaking hilarious. We also have Tiny Tina, who's voiced by Ashley Birch. In case you were wondering, she is in a little bit of everything. Most notably here for the show, she was the voice of Aloy in the Horizon Saga.
I was about to say in the Horizon Saga.
Yep. So context for like when you listen to Tiny Tina's voice, it's the same.
It's the same thing. You're gonna hear it.
Wonderful voice acting. She was also Tiny Tina in Assault on Dragon's Keep. So same voice. It makes it nice and consistent. But what makes it so funny is Adam Sandberg, Wanda Sykes, they're all Will Arnett. So freaking hilarious. Like they
work well off of each other, I'm sure.
Oh, and it is so good. So, like I mentioned, they do a really good job of like making it feel like you are the player that's playing the game. So what will happen is like you'll end up going to a dungeon that Tina hasn't quite set up yet, and they'll poke fun at that. Like, suddenly, Tina's like scrambling, and she's like talking about how she's scrambling through notes, and like, oh, I have to find something for this. Oh, one second, like. It doesn't take itself too seriously in the sense that like it feels like it's an actual D&D campaign. Oh, wow. Everybody's wandered off on their D&D campaign to a dungeon that your dungeon master hasn't actually set up because you weren't supposed to go that way, and it feels like that. The characters are always bickering and bantering. They're bouncing ideas off each other. Like it legitimately feels like a D&D campaign. That's my biggest one of my biggest takeaways about this story is just how well they balanced everything. So other than that, I think I covered everything I really wanted to say about the story. Characters. No, you know what? I have more I want to say. This game is a lot of fun. So you end up with meeting I've already forgotten their names. The love of ADHD. There is a character that is my favorite character in the game so far. So you have Brighthoof, which is the main city, kind of the capital city. It's full of rainbows and unicorns. In fact, unicorn but
did you just have a brain fart?
Guys, I cannot do names to save my life. That is the one thing I will proudly, I say proudly, I will let anybody know I don't do names. I can remember your face or your name. If I remember your name, I will never be able to point you out of a lineup. Ever. Ever. If I don't remember your name, it means I recognize you.
Right.
Like, it's one or the other.
You.
So you end up with so you meet the Unicorn Queen, and she's fantastic, and it's lots of fun, but she has a knight. It's like Reginald, I think. And just the greatest display of it was definitely created by a 10-year-old, while at the same time it is 100% a costume and a look that I would wear in game. It has a rainbow on it. It's bright blue rainbow. It is a very androgynous looking like suit of armor that's being worn. The characters themselves is very androgynous. It's I love it. Favorite character in the entire game. And I still can't remember the name, so that's okay. It
works.
The whole game feels like you are in the imagination of a 10-year-old. They did an awesome job with the imaginative side of this, if I'm honest.
I wonder how they did this. Like, did they interview or spend like a few months with someone that's like 10 years old or something like that? Because I've seen the reviews for this game and it looks amazing, and I haven't heard a lick of anything bad about it. Me personally, the reviews that I look at, and if they did, then how dare they? That's just like saying Final Fantasy Online shouldn't be online. That would cause a war. You know what I mean? So I thought I can do this.
I stand by the statement that this game has quickly shot up to within my top 5. Right?
Wow.
Halo, just as a series, is on the list. I can't even say just top 5 first-person shooters. I would probably throw it on my top 5 all time. God of War. We'll throw Assassin's Creed on there, Valhalla, just for the sake of the hours that I've put in.
Right. That brings up a really great question. I think top 10 shooters for me would have to be number 1 by far would always be GoldenEye N64.
Okay.
Then I would probably have to say Call of Duty because of the history of that game and how many of them I've played. Then I would probably throw Destiny in there because I've been playing that for the last 7 years.
Yeah, that's fair. See,
I think there's one more I would throw on there.
Well, my question is, okay, I know there are a lot of first-person shooters out there, right?
Right.
But I almost feel like they would have to be broken down like by game almost. If that it has to be individual. Like I would not put Call of Duty World at War. Wow, sorry. No. I would not put Call of Duty in my top 5 first-person shooters. But I would put Call of Duty World at War. Like that's that. So you almost have to separate it out, and then you have to look at the whole list. So I'm gonna say off the top, like from the top of my head, without being able to look at an extensive list of first-person shooters or my of my all-time favorite games, like games I would still play to this day, I would at least put it top 10 of all of my games, but top 5 first-person shooters if we're going game by game.
Right. Okay, I see what you're saying. That makes sense.
Because it's definitely top 10 though. But then you're also balancing, okay, do the Arkham games count as 1, or do I have to put all 3 in my top 10? So
I don't know, man. Yeah, I see the issue there.
Yeah.
Especially when you brought up Arkham. That is a very, very to be continued. But still. That's a hard one.
What we should do is we may have to go through and do a top 10 list where each of us give us our top 10 favorite games and we just do a top 10 list. That might be fun.
Yeah, maybe we can get Chaz or something or Patrick involved in that too. Dude, that would be dope.
I have excruciatingly painful executive dysfunction. I have been meaning to hit up Chaz for a hot minute now.
Chaz, if he's you're watching this, we miss you. We love you.
Chaz, if you're watching this, please text me.
Yeah.
I want to get Chaz on because he recently finished Cyberpunk.
Oh, I would like to know how that went. We need to get him on here.
So I want to do a Cyberpunk.
I will remind you. Episode. I will remind you.
Okay. I just need to get the text off is really all that it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Nonetheless,
you said you had some questions for me though.
Well, we're gonna finish up. Let's finish up with Tiny Tina's here, and then we'll go into our outro where I have some questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just gonna give you my final thoughts on the game. This game is, if I could take a breath between, I guess. Learn, Nathan. Woo! All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Game is ridiculously fun. As mentioned, quickly shot up to one of my top favorite first-person shooters. It is witty. It is comical, while simultaneously remaining action-packed and like fairly serious. Like I don't know if that's even the best word to use. It's not necessarily serious, but it is definitely action-packed and challenging. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. Challenging at all times. If you've ever played D&D, you're quickly going to understand the skills and abilities. If you've ever played Borderlands, you're quickly going to understand the controller and the mechanisms involved in it. There is a huge variety of enemies that you're going to be facing, right? In Borderlands, you kind of had your 4 different types and you were done and that was it. In this game, there is so much that you go up against, from pirates, skeletons. I'm trying to think. You got sharks, shark dogs. You got little mushroom dudes. You got wyverns and dragons that you're going up against. Just such a wide variety that you're seeing, and all of it is just so unbelievably gorgeous. Like, if you thought that Borderlands 3 looked good, this game is one step above. Like, honestly, best way to describe it: Borderlands 3 looks like it was a PS4 game. They got ramped up to a PS5 game. Right? This looks like a PS5 game. This it is stunningly gorgeous. I haven't seen, like, you know how most games have like glitches and stuff? I haven't run into like normal game glitches in this. It's so smooth. It just runs so well.
That's actually good to hear. So on the button mashing scale, 1 to 10, what do you give it?
Button mashing scale 1 to 10. I highly recommend this game. I am giving it a 9.5 out of 10.
There it is.
Literally, the only thing that really set like that I dislike about it. Well, I'm gonna add one more small thing I dislike about it, but I've mentioned it about the other Borderlands as well. It's a Borderlands issue, not Tiny Tina's issue.
Not a Tiny T-shirt.
There's too much loot. It knows what it is. It's funny. It's too much. I'm too busy looking in my menu trying to figure out, like, you have to, like, basically, okay, these are my weapons. This is what I'm rolling with for the next little bit.
Right.
Until I start consistently seeing weapons that are better, this is what I'm on. And then just sell everything else because there's too much loot. Again, Borderlands issue. The aim assist, again, either don't do it or do it. Don't make it so light. And then the motion, the speed when it comes to like the overall mechanics there. Speed up, slow down. It's just a little bit off. Those are literally my only complaints. 9.5 out of 10. It was it's so freaking good. I'm not done with it yet, but this is one that I will be finishing. Like, yeah, it's insane.
Good.
But yeah, there's our quick little review of Tiny Tina's WonderLands. Hopefully y'all can pick it up. And Jay, if you do end up picking it up, please let me know. I will definitely hop on with you. I'm trying to get Doodles to do it as well.
Shout out to Doodles. I miss you, brother.
Shout out to Doodles. Dude, we love you so much. Sorry you can't make it today. Happens. It like does. I'm doing it on a Sunday because I couldn't do it on Saturday because of things like I will point out though, I did get my office organized. My office I have bins, I I have been productive in here, if I'm honest. I just haven't gotten these hung up yet because
Right. And I cleaned my porch, and
look.
we have a new milestone in my house. We got a washer and dryer. I've never been so happy to have one, man.
Love it.
I am happy off of that alone. You have no idea.
Well, I love it. All right. Well, that said, we have questions and we have kind of announcements.
Yes.
It sounds like nothing is official yet. Nothing is set in stone, but it sounds like Button Mashing and Gaggle of Geeks will be teaming up again for the next FanX. And we may be having another panel there. We're still working out details with Patrick, if we're going to be if we are going to be joining in with Gaggle of Geeks again, which I would love to do, especially if we can make it as big as we've been talking about.
It's like my first home right there. I'm definitely, I talked to my wife about it. I definitely got to try to make a way for me to get out there.
That's my question. Do you think you will be making it down? If we can make this happen, do you think you'll be coming down?
You know what? It's 50-50, but I am definitely going to try to make this happen.
Okay.
I have not met any of you in person yet.
No.
And I've been doing Gaggle of Geeks and Button Mashing now for the last 3.5 years.
It's been a long time, yeah.
I've been so involved in this, and to not be able to see you guys in person, like, you guys are family to me. So I'm definitely going to do the best I can to make sure I am at FanX this year. But I have to check. I have to check with my wife first. That's my financial advisor.
Fair enough.
So finances always come first.
I gotta start setting some money aside so I can get the other side of my head done as well while we're there. You can come hang out with me while I get it done.
I might get one myself. Who knows?
Love it.
It'll be my first.
I'm excited. I want to see where this goes. We have some ideas and that we've been tossing around.
Yeah, we've been tossing around. Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that goes. So that's kind of our announcement. Now, Jay, you also mentioned you had a couple big things. Go ahead and tell our listeners what you got brewing for us.
Well, as you know, I actually changed my Facebook picture to a logo that I kind of made. It's called Enjoy the Little Things to bring autism awareness because my son is autistic. One of the things I'm trying to create is a system for law enforcement to identify those with disabilities or those with autism. So the first thing that they don't go to is their gun or lethal force when they're dealing with somebody who has mental issues or has a disability and can't respond properly. My son is nonverbal, so it's one of those things that it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Oh,
so absolutely. Especially when you personally have the addition of the color of your skin. And your son being nonverbal, that is a terrifying situation to be in.
It very much is.
That is an awesome idea.
I'm not just doing this for my son, but I'm doing this for everybody. And honestly, I don't care what color you are.
Oh, of course.
If you're having issues and it's hard for law enforcement under the stress that they're constantly under the scrutiny, if there is a way that we can lower that expectation and stuff like that, and make sure that they're either trained or have something on the individual who has the issue, an identifying marker other than a medical bracelet that barely gets seen. We need to find a way to make sure law enforcement understands this person's not all there. He needs a little help. Let's approach this differently. And I really want to make this happen. And so on April 29th, I am actually going to be making little short videos of me and my son, my wife. And that's the whole purpose of me getting the built PC in the first place. So I have something to edit on other than this small laptop that has an i3 core processor and not a really good graphics card on it. But it's a business venture that I plan to start. Starting April 29th, I got to get a copyright and a trademark and stuff like that, and then come up with some ideas and work with some law enforcement friends of mine that I know. I'm super excited about it. And because of Gaggle of Geeks and Button Mashing, the idea to actually put these on t-shirts, my new logo there, came from actually you guys. which I guess I kind of inspired Patrick to do it, which in turn inspired you. So in a sense, trying to get that out there is something that I've really been wanting to do.
Good.
And I can't wait to see where this goes. I'm turning this into a massive family and friends project where everybody is going to be involved. And I don't care if I get sponsorships or not. It's not about that. It's just making sure that as a human being, we're doing the right thing. And that's, and it's actually a lot inspired by you as well, Nate, with, protecting, your mind. So
right. Take care of your mental health. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
try not to get
appreciate
emotional about it because
you're fine. It's one, I talk about, taking care of your mental health and how I have ADHD at the very least, right? So
right.
I don't want to say like, oh, I can understand what you're going through and where your mind is, because like mine will never be on that that full. I'll never be non-verbal, right? It will never come down to that. But as someone that can't communicate with people, especially people with authority in a proper way, my mind does not deal with authority well. If you challenge, like if you come up to me in a challenging demeanor, I shut down. You're not going to get anything out of me if you come so being able to have someone that identifies like, oh, hey, he shut down for a reason. And being able to understand like why it's massive. It really is. So I think something like that is a really good idea. I love it and truly appreciate you kind of bringing light to something like that. It's
right. It can actually go into our closing. Yeah, it can go into our closing segment now.
It does. Yep, absolutely. We'll go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you so much for sharing with us what you have coming up. Anybody else?
April 29th.
April 29th. If you get the chance, go check out Jay. Find him on Facebook, Twitter, Jay Moore on YouTube. James Moore, excuse me.
James Moore on YouTube, yeah.
Yep, fantastic. So go check that out. Big stuff coming out of there. I wanted to pretend like I was gonna stream. If you didn't hear, I played some Fortnite this week.
I noticed that, by the way. I was
Doodles and I both played. We won some games.
What are you guys doing?
We won.
What is this? Oh, and I got a dub the last 2 days in Caldera. So yeah, I've been in Call of Duty.
Okay, Call of Duty. So the reason we downloaded Fortnite is because they have the no build mode now. And that was what I didn't want. I didn't like the building. That was literally the thing that was keeping me, turned off. Fortnite.
How is it?
It's so much fun. We got wins. I won a game, a legitimate game, not like that first freebie game. I've won at least 2 games.
I like this
duo. It's actually fun to play a little bit,
because you don't have to worry about building something all the way up to the ceiling.
You don't land and someone's already shot up the Empire State Building in front of you.
Right.
Yeah, it's great. It was a lot more fun. So I was joking with Doodles that we got to stream and become Fortnite famous now. We're gonna become Fortnite famous. But I am trying to stream a little bit. I'll try to get stuff out here soon, but I'm really enjoying what I want to do is get a party, and then maybe we can stream Tiny Tina's as a party once y'all have the game. Get the game so we can do that. But I'll try to stream a little bit more now that I have a set schedule. Makes it a little easier for me. So
my schedule will be changing pretty soon too. So when I do, I'll let you know, and I'll be more available for a lot of things. So you'll see.
I gave the disclaimer at the beginning of the show that things are about to get real hectic and crazy. We're going to miss a few weeks. We're going to, we got crazy things happening. We'll try to be as consistent, pushing out, conversations and all of that as often as we can. If we end up having to move back to Wednesday, which is what it was when we first started, if we have to move back to Wednesday, I'll do it. I don't care. We'll figure out a time. We'll make
that's
it happen.
old school.
That is old school, right? Way back when, year and a half ago, almost at this point.
Yeah, it feels like it. We're in season 2 now, man.
No, next month is a year and a half.
Yeah, year and a half, man.
We started in November. Wow. Yeah,
and it was just us. It was just the 2 of us, man.
Crazy to think about. All right, guys. Thank you everybody for joining in. I appreciate you coming, watching, hanging out as we do our little podcast here. If you have any topics that you want to talk about, any games that you want to discuss, throw them our way. Send us a message. Send us a chat. We want to hear from you. Anything you guys want to talk about, throw it our way. Like the page, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I don't know. Whatever you do, guys, take care of your mental health. And as always, keep gaming.